So we're in Proverbs 5:1. My son, attend unto my wisdom. Wisdom is the proper application of knowledge. How to apply knowledge in your life. Okay? He said, attend unto his wisdom. He said we got to attend to his wisdom. And bow thine ear to my understanding. So Proverbs 4:7 says, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom. And with all thy getting, get understanding. You see, a lot of people have wisdom, but they don't have understanding. That's why it's very important. That's why I say, with all thy getting, get understanding. And when you understand, then you can't be led astray. You won't be led astray. That's why it's saying, Proverbs 5:2, that thou mayest regard discretion. Maybe discard discretion. You see? And that thy lips may keep knowledge. You know? You can preserve this wisdom and understanding in your spirit so you can bring it forth when you speak. For the lips of a strange woman, for the lips of a strange woman drop as an honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil. The strange woman, so it's dropped like a honeycomb, sweet as can be, right? And her mouth is smoother than oil, smoother than oil. But her end is bitter as wormwood. Hear that? The end of this woman gonna be bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. You see? Cut you this way and cut you that way. Her feet go down to death. Hear that? Her feet go down to death. Her steps take hold on hell. It's a strange woman. And you look at our women, if they still have a Gentile state of mind, it don't matter if they call themselves Israelite, you still got a Gentile state of mind. This is talking about you too. Her feet go down to death. Her steps take hold on hell. Serious, man. He told us in Proverbs 4:27. Turn not to the right hand, nor to the left. Remove thy foot from evil. See? Don't run to evil. Rebuke evil. But, verse 26 says, ponder thy path of thy feet. Watch where you going, how you operating. Let all thy ways be established in righteousness. Proverbs 5:4. But her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Hear that? Her feet go down to death. She leads you down a path of death. Her steps take hold on hell. Man, that's serious. Her steps take hold on hell. Lest thou shouldest ponder the path of life. Ponder the path of life, following the ways of the Most High, His law, statutes, commandments, having faith in Him, fearing Him. Lest thou shouldest ponder the path of life, her ways are movable, that thou cannot know them. Hear that? That means she's wishy-washy. Her ways are movable. Means she's this way and that way. She's not stable. She don't have a true foundation, which is the Mashiach Yahushua, and not rolling with the devil. That's why I say her path is going to hell and death. Death and hell. Lest thou shouldest ponder the path of life, her ways are movable, that thou cannot know them, unless you're spiritual. That's why, go back to 1 Corinthians 2. Remember, The eyes of the Most High are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and even the secret things. And he showeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets, the Israelites, the prophets. 1 Corinthians 2:15. But he that is spiritual judges all things, yet he himself is judge of no man, because he's going to be operating in the spirit of the Most High to look at things according to thus say the Most High. Proverbs 5, verse 7. Hear me now, therefore, O ye children, and depart not from the words of my mouth. So I say you got to meditate on these words. Remove thy way far from her. Say, remove thy way far from her, and come now not nigh the door of her house. Don't come near the door of her house, lest thou give thine honor unto others, and thy years unto the cruel. You know they're cruel. And you give your honor unto others, and your years unto the cruel. The cruel. The strangers be filled with thy wealth. Hear that? The strangers be filled with thy wealth, and thy labors be in the house of a stranger. Hear that? A lot of times this happens because men get caught up and they have a baby by a woman, then they got to pay child support, and some other man reaping all the benefits of that child support with the woman. And it's bad, especially if they're not in the truth. They're in the world. Because everybody needs someone. It's just, hopefully they can be converted to be righteous. He would say, let strangers be filled with thy wealth, and thy labors be in the house of a stranger. And thou mourn at the last, when thy flesh and thy body are consumed, and say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof. Telling you what to do. But people hate to be corrected. Show them the right way to please the Most High. And have not obeyed the voice of my teachers. All the things that's been told to you. Nor incline my ear to them that instructed me. Hear that? He's screaming that. He's screaming this out. And she's screaming this out because it's real. And have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor incline my ear to them that instructed me. They follow some other way, besides the way of the Most High, the Mashiach Yahushua. I was also in all evil in the midst of the congregation and assembly. Wow. I was also in all evil in the midst of the congregation and assembly. They've been doing all kind of madness, all kind of things. And they be like, them, you don't see me people. You know, you got people that you don't see me people. The crackheads, you don't see me. You don't know that I'm a crackhead. Those that commit adultery, they doing it, behind closed doors, like in secret, like David, King David. Seen Bathsheba. Nobody knew it. Somebody knew it, but the man that went got her, laid with her, And liars, adulterers, crackheads, liars. You don't see me, people. You would say, I was almost in all evil in the midst of the congregation and assembly. Say, drink waters out of thine own cistern. It's probably more than that, but I'll just name 3. You don't see me, people. I remember there's a lot of people, they like, you don't see me. Most I see everything. Drink waters out of thine own cistern and running waters out of thine own well. I mean, with your own people. And hopefully you choose someone that's righteous so that let thy fountains be dispersed abroad. and rivers of waters in the streets. His word. The word is the waters. The word of the Most High. Let them be only thine own, and not strangers with thee. Hear that? Let them be of our own people, and not strangers with thee. Because Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 7, if you want to deal with other nations, it say, hey, as for the way of the Most High, when salvation is coming to the Israelites on this earth, 1/3 of the Israelites, Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 7, the nations, especially the ones that's in charge of the system right now, to a part of the earth, Esau, gonna be saying, we weird ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. We have gone through deserts where there lay no way. But as for the way of the Most High, the Mashiach Yahushua Elohim, we have not known them. Known it. We have not known it. So no matter how much you're going to pour forth, that's the end result. And those that are Gentile-minded of the Israelites, 2/3 of them. Regardless, that's why ever learning and never coming to the knowledge of what? The truth. Verse 16, let thy fountains be dispersed abroad and rivers of waters in the streets. Let them be only thine own and not strangers with thee. Hear that? Our own people and not strangers with us. Let thy fountain be blessed and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. Hear that? Rejoice with the wife of thy youth. That's of your people. Let her be as the loving hen and pleasant roe, pleasant deer. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times, and be thou ravished always with her love. And why wilt thou, my son, be ravished with a strange woman? Why are you going to turn to a strange woman? Solomon did this. And the result was the Most High split the kingdom under his son Rehoboam. He said, and why wilt thou, my son, be ravished with a strange woman and embrace the bosom of a stranger? That's why he told us, go to Baruch, the 4th chapter. Baruch, the 4th chapter in the Apocrypha. He said, verse 3, he said, give not thine honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation. Hear that? Point blank. What's profitable to us? The word of the Most High, his truth, his law, statutes, commandments. Where you're going to take the time to deal with them and not deal with our people. Show our people the moral laws, the civil laws, the dietary laws, the ceremonial laws. That's important. The rules and regulations of the Most High. That's what's important. Verse 20. And why wilt thou, my son, be ravished with a strange woman? Why are you going to be ravished with a strange woman? A woman outside of your nation? Because Most High is not with interracial marriages. And embrace the bosom of a stranger? You embrace the bosom of a stranger? When the Most High just told us what he told us in Baruch 4 and 3? For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Most High, and he pondereth all his goings. You see, that's what we just read about. Eyes of the Most High 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Remember, we just read that. Beholding all the ways of man and even the secret things. See, the Most High knows. Secret parts. He knows about the things that we don't consider. That's why I look at Ecclesiastes 17 and 15. The ways are ever before him and shall not be hid from his eyes. So all you that say, nobody see me, them you don't see me people, the Most High said their ways are ever before him and shall not be hid from his eyes. Verse 19. Therefore all their works are as the sun before him. Remember, his eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. So it's like one sun. He got 9,999 rays of the sun. That's before him. Compared, like he said. Therefore, all their works are as the sun, as one sun. When his eyes are 10,000 times brighter than one sun, beholding all the ways of men, and even the secret parts. Therefore all their works are as the sun before him, and his eyes are continually upon their ways. You don't see me, people. The Most High see you. None of their unrighteous deeds are hid from him. Hear that? None of their unrighteous deeds are hid from him, but all their sins are before the Most High. And they're being written in the books against us. When the books are open, there's going to be judgment. What you going to do when he comes for you? Proverbs 6 and 23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of light, to keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. You see? The flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. Lust not after her beauty in thine heart. We know the heart is the mind. Don't lust after her beauty in your mind. Neither let her take thee with her eyelids, blinking at you, letting you know, hey, you could get it. Because that's a whorish type of woman. Look, for by means of a whorish woman, there it is. By means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread. And the adulteress, the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. You know? The adulteress will hunt for the precious life. That's why you got to be aware of this type of woman. Can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burned? Can you take fire in your bosom and your clothes don't be burned? I think so. Can one go upon hot coals and his feet not be burned? Can you walk upon hot coals, red as ever, and not be burned? So he that goeth into his neighbor's wife, commit adultery, whosoever touches her shall not be innocent. Whoever touches her shall not be innocent. Men, do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. He's hungry, so he might go in there and get something, steal something to eat. But if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold. If he be found, he shall restore sevenfold. Instead of one, gonna be seven, you got to give back. He shall give all the substance of his house. But whoso commit adultery with a woman, lack of understanding. Yeah, they could be carnal, they could be natural man, they could be a man of the world, but he lack understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. He that do that, because remember he said the verdict is put the man and the woman to death. He destroyeth his own soul. A wound and dishonor shall he get. And his reproach, his disgrace shall not be wiped away. Hear that? His disgrace shall not be wiped away. Listen what it says. For jealousy is the rage of a man. Talking about her husband. Therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. He ain't going to spare him in the day of vengeance. This man sleeping with this woman. He will not regard any ransom. He doesn't think he could pay to take away his rage. He's not going to regard any ransom. Neither will he rest content. Though thou giveth many gifts. Though you give many gifts. He's not going to be content with that. It's very important. Look at 2nd Ezra in the Apocrypha, the 16th chapter. Because, man, some men, look how many men is in prison behind a woman. And they were somebody else. It's cold, but it's real. It's the world we in. 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, 37th verse. Behold, the plagues draw nigh. The plagues draw near. And are not slack. As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb. That's them contractions that a woman have. before the child is born. So there'll be great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Hear that? Pain, I would not know, and any man wouldn't know. But you women that have children should know. The contractions, they say, is some of the worst pain a woman can have. As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb. Great pains, these contractions, compass her womb. Which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth. And the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. You hear that? Everybody gonna be mourning, and sorrow's gonna come upon this earth on every side. O my people, who are the children of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, the Hebrew Israelites, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle. Hear that? You gotta get ready for this battle. And in those evil, be even as pilgrims upon the earth. We might have to move during the time of these evils. You ready for that? Do you have a plan? So be like pilgrims on the earth. But are you caught into your lifestyle, your comfort zone, that was gonna catch you unawares? And in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. He that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away. And he that buyeth, as one that will lose. Oh, but y'all gonna win, huh? We're gonna see. He that occupieth merchandise, as he that have no profit by it. And he that buildeth, as he that shall not dwell therein. Wow, people building houses, and they can't even dwell in the house they built. Just the end times. He that soweth, he that planteth seed, as if he should not reap. He's not going to reap the harvest. So also he that planteth the vineyard, as he that shall not gather the grapes. They that marry, as they that shall get no children. And they that marry not, as the widowers. You know how a widow feels. Husband to die. And therefore, they that labor, labor in vain. For strangers shall reap their fruits, and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses, and take their children captives. This happened to us. For in captivity and famine shall they get children. Hear that? In captivity and food shortage, feeding us all kind of abominations, shall we get children. And they that occupy their merchandise with robbery, the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons, deck themselves out, the more will I be angry with them for their sin, said the Most High. You don't care nothing about no material things. He said he wants us to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, do what he say do. You care nothing about all that. The more will I be angry with them for their sin, said the Most High. Like a whore, envious a right, honest, and virtuous woman. You hear that? A whore gonna envy a righteous, honest, and virtuous woman. So shall righteousness hate iniquity. Hear that? Those that are working toward the kingdom gonna hate iniquity, wickedness, sin, when she decketh herself, and shall accuse her to her face when he cometh that shall defend him, that diligently searches out every sin upon earth. See. And therefore be ye not like thereunto, nor to the works thereof. For yet a little while, and iniquity, all this wickedness and evil and sins, shall be taken away out of the earth, and righteousness shall reign among you. Remember we read in Isaiah the 60th chapter how we all going to be righteous, Most High will. Let not the sinner say that he have not sinned, for the Most High shall burn coals of fire upon his head. You know? Don't let the sinner say, I have not sinned. Most High say going to burn coals of fire on their head. Which says, before the Most High power and his glory, Mashiach Yahushai, I have not sinned. Behold, the Most High knoweth all the works of men. You know? His eye 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and even the secret parts. But the Most High shall burn coals of fire upon his head, which say, before the Most High power and his glory, I have not sinned. Behold, the Most High knoweth all the works of men, their imaginations, what you thinking, their thoughts, and their hearts. See? So, there's no getting by this. There ain't no way you can run or hide from the Most High. He knows. He knows. Look at Tobit, book of Tobit, in the Apocrypha, the 4th chapter, and we're going to read 4 and verse 12. Tobit, the 4th chapter, the 12th verse. It says, beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers. Hear that? Take a wife that is an Israelite. And take not a strange woman to wife. Most is not with interracial marriages, which is not of thy father's tribe. For we are the children of the prophets, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married wives of their own kindred, and were blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit the land. See? So he's telling us we're supposed to be dealing with women of our own nation, and if possible, our own tribe. But right now, we so mingled amongst all the other nations, we don't know who is who. Ecclesiastically. But I know one thing, we all come from the waters of Judah. Ecclesiasticus 23rd chapter, and verse 17. It says, all bread is sweet to a whoremonger. He will not leave off till he die. Hear that? All bread is sweet to a whoremonger. Just looking at somebody want to lay with this person, that person, no commitment, marriage at all. To a whoremonger, he going to look at this. He not going to leave off till he die. A man that breaketh wedlock, saying, thus in his heart and his mind, who seeth me? See that? Hear that? I just spoke it, the Most High bringing it out. That you don't see me, spirit, right? Who seeth me? Who seeth me? I am compassed about with darkness. Like David. He's on top of that roof, looked down and seen Bathsheba. It was dark. Her bathing. And men that feel that nobody's seeing them, doing the things in the dark, in secret, and women. The walls cover me because I'm enclosed here. They might be in some hotel room, or some other man's house, or some other man's wife's house. That goes on too. The walls cover me, and nobody sees me. Somebody say what it says. Who seeth me? Just that you don't see me, spirit. The walls cover me. I'm covered up. Nobody can see me, and nobody sees me. What need I to fear? The Most High will not remember my sins. That sounds like a Christian, don't it? Just call on the name of Jesus, you're gonna be forgiven. But they don't talk about sin, because sin is a transgression of the law. 1 John in the New Testament 3 and 4. You see that? Such a man only feared the eyes of men. Who seeth me? They talk about man. Who's looking at me? What man is looking at me? Or what woman is looking at me, for that matter? To see my wickedness that I'm doing. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Most High, once again, are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men, and considering the most secret parts. See? But they don't consider that, because they don't know. They don't know. They don't realize. He knew all things ere ever they were created. He knew what you're going to do before you did it. So that's why he told Ezekiel, go down there and tell him, thus say the Most High. But they ain't going to listen to you, because they don't listen to me. He knew everything before they were created, whatever it is that happened. So also after they were perfected, he looked upon them all. This man shall be punished in the streets of the city, and where he suspecteth not, he shall be taken. Hear that? He ain't going to suspect. The Most High going to get him. In the street, he going to be taken. Somebody be taken away from the world, might put him in prison, or might kill him on the street. He going to be taken. One way or another, the Most High's hand going to be upon him. Thus shall it go also with the wife that leaveth her husband, and bringeth in an heir by another. The wife that leave her husband, and bringeth in an heir of another man. For first, she have disobeyed the law of the Most High, and secondly, she have trespassed against her own husband, and thirdly, she have played the whore in adultery, and brought children by another man. She shall be brought out into the congregation, and inquisition shall be made of her children, that she gotten by another man. Her children shall not take root, and her branches shall bring forth no fruit. She shall leave her memory to be cursed. And her reproach be the disgrace, shall not be blotted out. Meaning he's going to be remembered. And they that remain shall know that there is nothing better than the fear of the Most High. When it started to happen, they that remain gonna know. As he made examples, and he's making examples, and those are examples to come in the future. And they that remain shall know that there is nothing better than the fear of the Most High, and that there is nothing sweeter than to take heed unto the commandments of the Most High. You want something sweet? Then they got to follow the commandments of the Most High, or they're bitter, sour, filthy, McNasty, abominable. It is great glory to follow the Most High, and to be received of him is long life. So then you know, if he don't receive you, your life could be shortened. That's why there's a lot of deaths that we're seeing right now. And he say gonna start with us. I just hope that, people hear it. Because he's telling you what he's saying. Ecclesiastes 26. Ecclesiastes 26, 9 to 12. The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids. The whores of a woman, you can just look at them. They take pictures a certain way. They look a certain way. You can know a whore, he's saying, by the haughty looks, the prideful looks in her eyelids. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly. You got a daughter that's shameless, say keep her in. Don't let her be out there rolling in the street doing whatever she want to do. We're going to tell you. If your daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. Hear that? Allowing her to do whatever she want to do. She abused herself by overmuch liberty, doing whatever she want to do. Watch over an impudent eye, and marvel not if she trespass against thee. So don't marvel if she go against your rules and regulations. She will open her mouth, listen to this closely, she will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he has found a fountain. Just talking about oral sex. And drink of every water nearby, near her. By every hedge will she sit down and open her quiver, that's her vagina, against every arrow. The arrow is the scrotum or the penis of a man. The quiver is her vagina, against every arrow. She's going to be having sex with more than one man. The grace of a wife, the delight of her husband, and her discretion will fatten his bones. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Most High, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. A mind that's well instructed with this word of truth. Precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. Following this truth. A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace. Hear that? A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace. And her continence, mind, cannot be valued. Hear that? It cannot be valued. As the sun, when it rises in the high heaven, like the sun come up in the east, and it rises in the high heaven, so is the beauty of a good wife in the ordering of her house. Ordering her house around. Taking care of everything that needs to be done in the house. Let's look at Ecclesiasticus 41 and verse 8. Ecclesiasticus 41 and 8. Woe and destruction unto you, unrighteous men. Hear that? So we say, woe, destruction unto you, unrighteous men, which have forsaken the law of the Most High power. Have forsaken the law of the Most High power. For if ye increase, the Most High reign on the just and the unjust, the just and the unjust. For if ye increase, it shall be to your destruction. See that? It says it's going to be to your destruction. For the unrighteous man. And the Most High long suffering, so it don't have to happen real fast, but as you see it happen, you know it happened. It's going to happen because he said it. Proverbs 17 and 10. A reproof entereth more into a wise man than 100 stripes into a fool. You hear that? Reproof. And that's what this word does. It's for reproof and instruction us how to be righteous from the Most High. Telling us what's right from wrong. Hold that. Get verse 2 Timothy 3 and 16. It says, all scripture is given by inspiration of the Most High, and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, for correction, for instruction in righteousness. You see? That's why we have to warn our people about what's right and wrong, or their blood gonna be upon your head. So, going back to Proverbs 17:10, it says, "A reproof enters more into a wise man than 100 stripes into a fool." Hear that? So, it says, a wise man, which hears his word, is going to be more acceptable than 100 stripes unto a fool. So let's look up that word fool. What's a fool? F-O-O-L. Fool. Wow, I went right to it. All praise to the Most High. A silly person, simpleton. What's made fool? A jester, joking a lot, a dupe, to act like a fool, to joke, to meddle with, to trick, deceive. See? That's a fool. But says, a reproof entereth more into a wise man than 100 stripes into a fool. See that? 100 stripes into a fool. Now, that's saying something, because we did get beat with stripes for doing something, things that's wrong. Go to the law. Go to Deuteronomy 25. Deuteronomy 25th chapter. We got beat stripes. Look at Deuteronomy 25. We'll read verse 1 to 3. It says, "If there be a controversy between men, and they come unto judgment, that the judges may judge them, then they shall justify the righteous and condemn the wicked." So the judge is going to justify the righteous and condemn the wicked. "And it shall be, if the wicked man be worthy to be beaten, that the judge shall cause him to lie down and to be beaten before his face according to his fault by a certain number." I mean, you're going to be beat by a certain number. 40 stripes he may give him, and not exceed. Can exceed 40 stripes. Lest, if he should exceed and beat him above these with many stripes, over 40 stripes, then thy brother should seem vile unto thee. See? That's the law. And this happened to us. Paul was beat like that. He had to go through that in judgment with the Israelites. Look at from there, let's look at Psalms 89th chapter. And we're going to read verse 30. Psalms 89 and 30, 32. "If his children forsake my law and walk not in my judgments, if they break my statutes and keep not my commandments, then will I visit their transgression with the rod and their iniquity with stripes." Hear that? So you're going to visit their transgression and breaking of the Most High's laws with the rod and their iniquity with stripes. He's going to beat you down. That's thus said the Most High. Because it's going to be according to the rod, which is the law of the Most High. You do wrong, he's going to beat you. And get beat down with these stripes of the Most High. Proverbs 19 and 29. Judgments are prepared for scorners. Hear that? Judgments are prepared for scorners, those that mock the word of the Most High. Judgments coming on them. And stripes being beat for the backs of fools. See that? Stripes for the back of fools. That's why you got to understand this and understand this. Stripes for the backs of fools. Because they don't want to hear. They don't want to hear to the word of the Most High. So look at Proverbs 20 and 30. The blueness of a wound cleanses away evil. And when you've been beat with these stripes, it says, and you turn blue, then it beat you so that you turn blue. The blueness of a wound cleanses away evil. And think about what you're going to do. You're going to be righteous, you're going to be evil. So do stripes the inward parts of the belly. So do stripes, this beat down, the inward parts of the belly, meaning something that's inside your belly. Now, speaking of the belly and the stomach, go to Numbers. Since we're dealing with this topic, go to Numbers, the 5th chapter. Numbers, the 5th chapter. And let's look at, start at verse 11. The law of jealousy. It says, and the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, says them stripes going to deal with the inward parts of the belly, right? The Most High spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, who we are, 12 tribes of Israel, and say unto them, if any man's wife go aside and commit a trespass against him. Now, woman go aside and commit a trespass against him, and a man lie with her carnally, and he have another man have sex with her, which is adultery, and it be hid from the eyes of her husband. She hide, like I said, you don't see me type of people. And a lot of this going on in our day and time now, brothers. It says, and sisters, it says, and it be hid from the eyes of her husband, and be kept closed, and she be defiled. You know she defiled. That woman is defiled, sleeping with more than one man. And there be no witness against her. Nobody coming up saying she did it. There's no witness against her. Neither she be taken with the matter. And the spirit of jealousy come upon him. Spirit of jealousy come upon her husband. And he be jealous of his wife. And she be defiled. Or if the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be not defiled. He's jealous of her, but she ain't did nothing. She ain't slept with another man. Or she did sleep with another man, outside from him. Then shall the man bring his wife unto the priest, and he shall bring her offering for her. The 10th part of an ephah of barley meal. He shall pour no oil upon it, nor put frankincense thereon, for it is an offering of jealousy, an offering of memorial, bringing iniquity to remembrance, bringing the sin of this wickedness to remembrance. And the priest shall bring her near and set her before the Most High. And the priest shall take holy water in an earthen vessel, and of the dust that is in the floor of the tabernacle, the priest shall take and put it into the water. So we'll take the water and holy water and put the dust that's on the floor, put some of the dust that's on the floor and put it into the water. And the priest shall set the woman before the Most High and uncover the woman's head. So let you know the woman's head was covered. Uncover the woman's head and put the offering of memorial in her hands. Put it in her hands. She holding it, which is the jealousy offering. And the priest shall have in his hand the bitter water that causes the curse. Right? And the priest shall charge her by an oath, and say unto the woman, if no man have lain with thee, and if thou hast not gone aside to uncleanness with another instead of thy husband, that's why when you read uncleanness with another instead of thy husband, be thou free from this bitter water, that causes the curse, right? So it says, if thou hast not gone aside to uncleanness with another, meaning you lie with it, had sex with another man outside from your husband, and that's why we read in, hold that, in Deuteronomy 24, 24th chapter, coincide with what Mashach said. It says, Deuteronomy 24 and 1, hold that, when a man have taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he have found some uncleanness in her. See that? Uncleanness in her. Meaning she have committed adultery or fornication. She have laid with another man, as the law is saying. See? Numbers 5 and 20. But if thou hast gone aside to another instead of thy husband, and if thou be defiled, and some man hath lain with thee beside thine husband, read verse 19, and the priest shall charge her by an oath, and say unto the woman, if no man have lain with thee, you ain't committed adultery with another man, and if thou hast not gone aside to uncleanness with another instead of thy husband, as we just read, Deuteronomy 24 and 1, be thou free from this bitter water that causes the curse. But if thou hast gone aside to another instead of thy husband, you laid with another man instead of your husband, and if thou be defiled, and some man have lain with thee beside thine husband, because you know when a woman, you understand, when a woman have two semens coming to her, she stink. It's hard for her to get that smell off of her. Known facts. Do as hard as she wants to, but then it don't mix. She funky. Thank you. Plus her climax, his climax, all that together. Because you putting the DNA, the life force, the sperm is a life force into your body. You can't get rid of that. If thou hast gone aside to another instead of thy husband, and if thou be defiled, you be defiled, and some man have lain with thee beside thine husband, then the priest shall charge the woman with an oath of cursing, and the priest shall say unto the woman, the Most High make thee a curse and an oath among thy people, when the Most High does make thy thigh to rot, and thy belly to swell. Your thigh gonna rot. I mean, you're gonna start stinking. Something rotten. You'll start stinking.